Welcome to another treatment of the International Sunday School lesson. Today's lesson is entitled A Kingdom of Priests, a Holy Nation, and it's taken from the book of Exodus, 19th chapter, verses 1 through 14, and it's for March the 2nd, 2025, spring quarter, lesson number 1. Now, a little background information. Today's lesson documents one of the most important moments in the arrival of the Israelites at Sinai. They met with Yahweh and received the law. God gave them instructions regarding the priesthood, sacrifices, offerings, and the tabernacle. These instructions document what they would need to function as a theocratic nation. Exodus 19, 1 and 2. On the first day of the third month after the Israelites left Egypt, on that very day, they came to the desert at Sinai. After they set out from Rephidim, they entered the desert of Sinai, and Israel camped there in the desert in front of the mountain. The location of Mount Sinai is not precisely identified in the Old Testament. Sinai, or Horeb, was either located on the east side of the Gulf of Aqaba or the west side of the Gulf just south of Canaan. There is a little debate on that location. However, we know when these events occurred in relation to their leaving Egypt. This was very soon after they left Egypt, only 3 months. They committed early in their journey to obey God. Unfortunately, their actions did not match their commitments. They repeatedly rebelled and complained to God. That is why they wandered in the desert for 40 years, and only 2 of the generation that left Egypt were allowed to enter the promised land. Exodus 19, 3 through 6. When Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, "This is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, and what you are to tell the people of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you are to speak to the Israelites." The children of Israel saw all the greatness of God as they left Egypt. God had demonstrated his great love for them, like a parent eagle to its eaglet. God loves and protects the children of Israel. Now, friends, God also loves and protects the church. Peter states the same phrase about it in 1 Peter 2:9. "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." Exodus 19, 7 and 8. So Moses went back and summoned the elders of the people and set before them all the words of the Lord had commanded him to speak. The people had responded together, "We will do everything the Lord has said." So Moses brought their answer back to the Lord. These may have been the elders that Moses installed in the previous chapter of Exodus. His father-in-law, Jethro, told Moses that he would not be able to judge every matter that arose. He needed elders to judge lesser matters. Moses picked out a crew of leaders. These may have been those folks. It may also have just been the family heads. Regardless, these leaders were told the rules and responded they would follow the rules given by God. The incident of the golden calf and rejection of the spy report was not done in ignorance. The people knew the rules that they broke. Exodus 19:9. The Lord said to Moses, I'm going to come to you in a dense cloud so that the people will hear me speaking with you and will always put their trust in you. Then Moses told the Lord what the people had said. We cannot view the face of God and live. Exodus 33:20 through 23 states, But he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where I will stand. You may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I pass by. Then I will remove my hand and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. God does show folks his presence in other ways, though. In such encounters, God's presence is veiled or obscured by cloud, darkness, fire, smoke, or as the appearance of man. Exodus 19:10 through 14. And the Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and be ready by the third day, because on that day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Put limits for the people around the mountain and tell them, be careful that you do not approach the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever touches the mountain is to be put to death. They are to be stoned or shot with arrows. Not a hand is to be laid on them. No person or animal shall be permitted to live. Only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast may they approach the mountain. After Moses had gone down the mountain to the people, he consecrated them, and they washed their clothes. The children of Israel were preparing for their mission. Their ultimate mission was to conquer and occupy the Holy Land. The second step after leaving Egypt was to get their instructions on how to live their lives. God was telling them to clean up and get ready. Each of us have a mission in life. God calls each of us to our mission. Each mission requires learning the instructions. At the heart of our instruction is the Bible. Each of us, regardless of our particular mission, must read the Bible and follow what the Bible tells us to do. That prepares us for the work God has called us to do. That has a lot in common with what we're seeing in today's lesson. Couple of concluding thoughts. 1, God loves us. 2, prepare for the mission ahead. Read and follow the scriptures. Well, friends, good Lord willing, I'll be with you next weekend.